discussion and you can change the way that you treat each other. You can break that pattern that is destroying your marriage if you just choose something different in the moment. So look at your spouse through a different set of eyes. One of these things that my wife is great at is learning to focus on your spouse's positive qualities, and she's going to share.
Come on, Barb.
You know, I didn't say it earlier, but I do just want to mention, as if you can't tell, all of marriage is a spiritual affair. You can try to get it into the practicals, and it probably will help to do some things that you might read in the Huffington Post or the wherever else. But fundamentally, everything that you're doing has to come from a heart of wanting to please God.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I give God 100% of the credit for the success of our relationship. In that,
Come on, Barb.
every good thing that He's put inside of me, maybe I brought one of those things in, but it was because He gave it to me earlier in my life. But the transformation that we have, you've got to believe the Word of God when it says we're renewed by the transforming of our mind. That
Yes.
it really is a God thing.
Yep.
And, you know, every day, one prayer that I do pray, well, number one, I choose a word for the year, and a lot of the downtown girls do the same. We choose a word and we work on it all year long, just because a lot of us have ADD and we decide if we just choose one thing, maybe that one thing will be done. But my word happens to be prayer for this year, which has already been such a great blessing. But a prayer that I've prayed for several years now, almost every day, is that God, please give me your eyes to see this situation, to see this person. And in case you haven't thought this far ahead yet, this will help you with every relationship. This will help you immensely with teenagers and navigating those really difficult years. It will help you with your boss, who might be difficult. It will help you with coworkers, or whoever, friendships in general. But I think the end of this passage in Philippians, where it says, Philippians 4:8, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever's true, whatever's noble, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And, you know, this is so encouraging to me. The actual think about in the Greek is all one word. And that word is logizomai, which comes from logos, meaning to reason through. But listen to what this actually meant, the original language. That actually means, when they say to think about such things, it means to put together with one's mind, to count, to occupy oneself with reasonings or calculations. Oh my gosh, I love that, because it's like, occupy yourself with putting in your mind a construction or a way of solving this problem. Like when we calculate, which, I mean, I got good at math because of sale prices at the store, right? You go 30% off. I can do that backwards, forwards, up, down, 10 with 30% off, 35% off. Right? But you learn to do it because you do it often. And it's the same thing. To train yourself to think about your spouse, and this is my advice to you, this is what I did, step for step. I thought about 10 qualities that I loved about my husband, even at our lowest moments. So I thought, you know, when he's late, I never worry about where he is. I know he's late for a legitimate reason. He is loyal to his friends. Like, if his friend, which he was a good friend of ours that Bob baptized in Chicago, was passing away, we were broke. He got on a plane and flew out there for his last 24 hours and was with him. And all along the way, they spoke to each other. He's an incredibly loyal friend. And as I kind of went down the list, they weren't like magnificently standout kind of things. They were those faithful, salt of the earth kind of things. about people that you can tend to take for granted, that he will never be without a job. I know if he lost his job today, like by tomorrow afternoon, he would be employed somewhere. At a gas station, at a car wash. He would not go without a job. I just know that about him. There were just those fundamental salt of the earth things that you can tend to take for granted and overlook. So I had those things in my head ready when one of his weaknesses would show up, because I thought, I chose this guy. Part of it, you gotta kind of go back and forth on this. Part of it is like, come on, I made a good choice here with this person. You gotta really confirm that in yourself. Yes, they have weaknesses in the very way that I might be thinking about their weaknesses. Guess what? If I'm spending my time thinking about that, they're thinking about my weaknesses.
Right.
So when I'm thinking about their good qualities, and when I'm remembering their fundamental, great, hard-fought character things that God has worked in them, then that's going to come back to you. And it's just been one of the most transforming things for me, because then what I realized is every time I thought of him, it was positives. And it really turns those feelings around. It really turns the romantic feelings around. It really turns the warm, fuzzy, loving feelings around that you sometimes think, I guess, am I just going to have to do without these now? No, those come back when you have this in your mind of positives and strengths and the qualities that you love and respect about your spouse.
Amen.
Great.
And I certainly gave her a lot of opportunities to think negative things about me.
Come on, Bob. It's awesome.
So, let's play a game of rock, paper, scissors to close out. As you can see, hammer breeds hammer. When we hammer our spouse, they're going to hammer us back. Hammer breeds hammer. But let me tell you a secret. Scissors cuts hammer. Now what I mean by that is, what if I want to cut my spouse some slack, but they want to just keep hitting me? Scissors cuts hammer. They may hit you once, just use the scissors. Then they might hit you again, but maybe not. Then use the scissors. You just keep using the scissors, and before you know it, they're going to be using the scissors too.
Wow, that's awesome.
The scissors are more powerful than the hammer. The pen is mightier than the sword. Scissors are better than hammer. That's why the Bible says, what's the title of this retreat?
Love never fails.
Love never fails. It doesn't say that love's not going to take some time to win. It does take some time to win. But I have seen it over and over again. It doesn't take both spouses. It's best if both spouses are working on this. But it only takes one because of the power of love.
Come on.
Love can transform a marriage. Immaturity, which is what this is, and what this is, that's immaturity, right?
Yeah.
That's just being immature. When immaturity meets immaturity, you have bedlam.
Yeah.
When two people treat each other in an immature way, you have bedlam. They're using the mirror, they're using the hammer, it's terrible. Immaturity and immaturity are going to have a terrible marriage. But the question is, what happens if immaturity runs into maturity? What happens if the hammer runs into the scissors? You know what you get then? You get progress.
Come on. Progress. Love it.
Well, if only my wife would change this, if only my husband would change this. Yeah, they should change that. But if you can practice love, you're going to make progress in your marriage. The Bible promises it, so I believe it, and I've seen it. And then when you have maturity meeting maturity, when you have scissors and scissors, right? That's the only tool. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut her some slack. Yeah, I'll just cut him some slack. Yeah, you get the glasses. She's wearing the glasses. You're wearing the glasses. You're using. You know what you get? You have an awesome marriage.
Yes.
Your weaknesses begin to change, not because you're hammering each other, but because you're treating each other as Christ would want you. It's an amazing transformation.
Right.
The thing that is bothering you the most about your spouse, if you stop grinding them on it and start loving them instead, it's the best way to help them to change that part of their character. So if you can get in your marriage where you both are using the scissors and you're both using the glasses, then you'll be able to really get something accomplished. Scissors cuts hammer. You know, Proverbs chapter 10 teaches this, and it teaches over and over again in the Bible. It says, hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers over all wrong. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. And one of my favorite, Proverbs 15:1, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. In the same way, mirrors breed mirrors. The more selfish you are, the more selfish they're going to be. That's going to happen. Glasses trumps mirror. Glasses trump mirror. And if you can learn to see your spouse differently, even if they're still, if you can just use the glasses, even if their spouse is using the mirror, you're going to make progress in your marriage. Okay, so now we have the next table talk going on. And then we're going to have a couples only talk. In your table talk, here's the question. How would Mike and Mandy's situation play out differently if they would have used the right tools? Spend some time thinking through that situation, him coming in the door, how he's feeling, how she's feeling, where he's at, what she's doing, all of that. How would that situation have played out differently if they would have used the different tools? Instead of judgment, anger, and harshness, they would have cut each other some slack. Instead of being self-focused with on themselves, they would have thought of the other with love and compassion. So let's just spend a few minutes talking about Mike and Mandy and how their situation would have been different and had a different outcome if they would have used different tools. Let's have some great table talk at this time. Table talk.